But
Oh, I see.
yeah,
Yeah.
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 Anyways, hi everybody.
Hello.
It's not New Year's yet, but you know, I just figured it's almost. So, and I feel like Sarah would wear a hat backwards.
Well, it's mirrored.
Well, yeah, I tried to fix it, but you know, you can't fix text.
Yeah.
Could have came
Yeah.
the other way, but then I thought, you know, like I said, I think Sarah would do this.
Phase on the wrong account again.
But you see what I mean when I say pilgrim?
Yeah.
Yeah, you kind of look like a settler.
Well,
You're ready to take some land that is not rightfully yours.
Wow.
Anyways, okay. So, hello everybody. Happy New Year. Not quite.
Happy almost New Year. Woohoo. Yahoo.
Are you Mario?
Yahoo.
Okay. So one of the first things I wanted to ask you,
Oh boy.
before we even get into anything, I wanted to ask you, when's your best cold sip?
What the fuck does that mean?
Okay, so like, you know when you really want water,
Mm-hmm.
and like you want cold water because it hits different.
Mm-hmm.
What time does that occur where water just hits different?
It varies greatly.
Like, I have two that I can think of.
Are you talking about like when you wake up in the middle of the night and you feel like a dying fish?
I mean, that could be one too. That's like one, like specifically for me, it's about 3:42 a.m.
What? Oh, hold on.
And then the second one,
Hold on.
the
Are
second
you
feeling
recording these times?
is right after you eat something like really chocolatey, like a piece of chocolate cake that's like really fudgy.
That's
feel
so
like,
valid.
I
That's
feel like
so
water
yeah.
works so well after something that rich to just like cleanse, but in a good way, because it doesn't have flavor, so it's not like bombarding you with something that doesn't need to be there.
That's so true. Absolutely, I agree with that.
No, because milk has the flavor. It tastes like milk.
It does.
And I'm not saying milk doesn't go well with chocolate, but it sure as hell adds a different flavor to the chocolate once you drink with it.
On the topic of milk, very briefly, Yoshi got these two giant things of chocolate and strawberry milk.
That's not surprising. I mean, the strawberry maybe, but the chalky milk, that's not surprising.
She said she likes strawberry milk more though.
That's the thing though. To me, strawberry milk doesn't taste like strawberry, but it sure as hell tastes like pink.
It does taste very pink.
And like, it's not even necessarily like, it's just so sweet, because chocolate milk can have a depth to it. Granted, if you just get like store-bought chocolate milk all the time, then it's just going to taste like sweet chalky milk. But
yeah,
I feel like you can make good chocolate milk that actually tastes like a rich chocolate, which, you know, delves slightly into the cold hot cocoa territory.
Yeah.
Which also, I feel like, valid in its own right. But yeah.
And hot chocolate's really good.
After some good Chinese food, I don't know if it's specific to Chinese food. I feel like with a lot of meals that have any kind of acidity to them, it's best to have something that's more in the middle, like water, comparative to like if you were to have soda, because I feel like that just adds a bunch of different layers into my stomach and it just gets more upset at me.
Understandable.
But anyways, that was the first thing. The second thing that I wanted to specifically just tell you, because I cursed my brain and now I wanted to curse yours.
Oh, no.
I was on the toilet the other day.
Oh God, where is this going?
I was on the toilet the other day,
Tell
you
me about your
know.
poo.
I was having a healthy poo, thank you very much. It was one of those poos, you know, where kind of like, you know how deer poop
No,
in those like little pellets?
a lot of other animals do, but okay.
That's that kind of poo. And you know, it worked because it wasn't too much, it wasn't too little. It was a
I don't
steady
really think
stream.
that's supposed to be healthy for humans.
Anyways, so I was there. And now you're there with me in spirit.
I don't want to be.
And the whole thing is I was obviously wiping because, you know, I'm a healthy, clean individual. And I was nearing the end of the toilet paper roll. And you know how some toilet paper rolls, like the end of it like is stuck on to the roll? This one wasn't like that at all. It like literally just came off. And the first thing I thought and said out loud when that happened, when I reached the end, was, "Ooh, so tender, it slides right off the bow." And I wanted to share that with you.
The fuck?
Because it was like an intrusive thought that I had to say out loud. And I wanted you to be forced to hear that too in that context.
You know how you were like, you think you might be ADHD? Yeah, you are with that kind of behavior.
But it's like, because it just like came right off. And I was like, that's never how any toilet paper actually is. So was just a weird experience. And
He's
yeah,
a tender boy.
and that was just the first thing that came to my mind. Okay, let's do
What
weekly
time was it?
sessions.
What time was it?
Not late enough
How
to justify
sleep
it.
deprived were you?
Not late enough to justify how that situation happened. No, I would
Bidets
not.
are
See,
awful.
well, here's the thing. I like the
I don't like my
theory-
butt being wet.
Well, no, here, listen. I like the theory of a bidet in the sense of like, you know, a little extra zhuzh. But I think practice-wise, you definitely need to do a secondary wipe, you know?
Yeah, but then you have wet toilet paper. Ugh.
Well, no, you wipe until it's dry.
I know, but at least the first thing, okay, I don't wad up that much toilet paper.
Do you? Well, okay, I know for me personally.
I don't like this conversation.
This is not where I thought this conversation was gonna go, but you know, for me personally, I feel like I have a deep-seated fear in shitting my hands, you know? Like, I don't ever want toilet paper to even have the chance of breaking if I'm wiping. That's why I hate like the public toilet paper where it's literally paper and you have to like, because that you have to layer that. You cannot just wipe with a single layer of
Oh
that.
yeah, absolutely.
But even then with that, I feel like you have to extra layer because even when you like layer 5, 6, 7 layers on top of each other, that's like 2-ply in terms of normal toilet paper world. But I have this like deep-seated fear of like, I don't want to ever be in a situation where I poop my hands.
Like the way you're saying that. 'Cause I don't think it's right. I don't think that's the right way of saying that.
And I know I used to be someone that would use so much toilet paper, like in a bad way. But I also know that I used to be someone that used to hold in my poos for so long that they would become like these mountainous turds that would clog any toilet that they breached. Like,
Well,
so
that's a personal issue.
I've learned a lot over the years, like the proper quantity to quality of how much you should do and your analyzation of the toilet paper you're working with in the bathroom, because that also is a big part. Because you have to have enough where you feel secure, but not too much to where it's like, if you flush multiple times, like if you wipe twice without flushing, that it would suddenly clog the toilet. I feel like that is the method you need to go by.
You know, I don't think I've ever really thought about my method to wiping.
That's because you clearly don't have this fear.
I don't. I have not clogged as many toilets as you have.
And that's the thing. Most of it wasn't even because of toilet paper. It was because of my mountainous turds.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was a fun thing that I decided to spring on you.
Thanks. I appreciate it. You know, sharing is caring.
Anyways, let's go to weekly obsessions now. You
I
go.
went first. No, I went first last week. You will go first this week.
Well, to be fair, I already know what your weekly obsession's gonna be.
What? How?
If it's not what I'm thinking it is, then you're lying to yourself and the people.
What? What?
Think about what you've seen within the last week.
Oh.
Okay, anyways, my weekly obsession is not, it's not specifically songs themselves. It is my consistency when it comes to apparently what I like in music. And I'll explain it. So, you know how on Spotify they have like your discovery station?
Mm-hmm.
They have a similar thing on iTunes, which to me, in my mind, I always thought that because they technically have two things on iTunes. They have like a new music thing, which has some artists that you already listen to and some that you might not know. But then they also have like an actual station where it just randomly shuffles songs for you to like or not. And I always thought, because the way that my methods have always been is I would use Spotify for the Discover Weekly, because typically if I can get like 2 to 3 songs out of a Discover Weekly, that's a win in my book, because I love finding new music. But I would typically use Spotify for that, because when I would try and use the iTunes version, I feel like it would either be completely random or it would not be at all something that I would be into. And so I would use Spotify for discovering, and I would like keep it in my backlogs. And then if I really liked it, because I have an iPhone and I listen to like music all the time on my phone and everything, I would look it up on Apple Music and save it there. So it would be like added to my more frequent library. And I've noticed recently, because I started listening more to the Discovery Station on iTunes, that it started recommending songs that I've already saved that are like in my Spotify limbo right now. Which makes me think that my methods of listening to very particular kinds of music are transferring over. And I don't know what those kinds of music are. I just know that it's very similar to each other. Like, I have no clue what the actual like cross section is of what makes it similar to each other for it to be like, this is the kind of thing that you would like. But I just know that it's clearly consistent enough to the point where even iTunes, which was not previously that good, is starting to recommend things that I've either already liked or new things that I do like.
The thing is, so you know how we have our shared, like our merged Spotify playlist?
Yeah.
Sometimes I put that on. Because I usually I've discovered a few songs from listening to that I like, that are from like your side. But I put it on, I think maybe like a week or 2 ago, and I remember all of the songs that weren't mine and were all yours was just they were a lot about sex.
Oh yeah.
Mainly about lesbian sex.
Okay, which ones? Because like
I don't remember. I just remember being like,
I have an excuse. Yoshi doesn't, okay? I like lesbians for them existing, okay?
Like, hold on, let me see. Let me go do it right now. Let me tell you what songs are
for
yours.
context, for people that don't know, I have a lot of songs that are like hypersexual songs, even though I personally do not think I am a hypersexual person, just because the beats bebop. And like sometimes you just like the beat, even if they're singing about certain things.
I was about to say, you're someone who doesn't listen to the lyrics.
It depends on the lyrics, because some songs I specifically end up liking a lot because I read the lyrics, and other songs, like, I have no clue what they're saying, but like I'm jamming to this Russian Europop song. Like, I don't know. It just depends on the song, you know? This is what I'm saying. It's so difficult for me to pinpoint like the specificities as to why I like the things that I like, but now even iTunes is catching up to it, and I'm like, I'm glad you are.
because I've listened to some of them. I think if you gave me a list of like 5 random songs and you said one of these is one that I like, I probably could pick it out.
Probably.
Like, so there's like 4 songs on the playlist right now because it updates every day.
Yeah.
There are 4 songs on there that says it's shared, and that is Cult of Dionysus by Cosmic Candy. That is Doubt by Tilson, which is something that I believe I heard from your side and then I liked it.
Okay.
There is A Chew by Anna Sophia.
I love that song.
I do too. It's a very good stim song. Like, it's one of those songs that it's like, it just itches that part of my brain that's like, ooh.
I think that was my top song on my Spotify Wrapped for this year.
A similar one, in my opinion, that is also like, it itches that one part of my brain is the Pink Like Suki.
I listen to a lot of electronic trash music, and I feel like that is displayed.
I think Down Bad for... Oh, God, why are you... Oh, I'm hitting... Oh, stop it! Stop it!
This is when Sarah's computer revolts and kills her? Live on stream? Live on set? Okay, what is... I don't know what's happening to Sarah.
Okay. Dear God. I'm fine. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. What I was trying to say is, I believe the song, I think it's Down Bad for You by Lena Moon, is something that keeps popping up on this playlist, and I think every time I hear it, I'm like, what the fuck is this?
I don't even know what that song is. Hold on. Down Bad for You.
No, it's not this song. Never mind.
What are you...
That's that song's fine. There is one... I believe it's a J-pop song that keeps popping up on this playlist that I really like, and I always keep forgetting to save it.
Well, okay, that's another thing that I've learned with these specific playlists, because at this point I've done multiple with multiple different people, including like Shinny and everything, and we've had songs that we played, because I remember when we did the road trip all the way up to Georgia, we combined our specific ones in a singular playlist, and there were some songs that we were like, who added this song? Yeah. And then you look and it says like your name, and it's like, I do not have this song in my life. I think I have like a Katy Perry song, and I'm like, I don't have any Katy Perry songs on my Spotify.
Yeah, it does do that sometimes.
And so I'm assuming, obviously there's like a bias towards songs that are like liked in your personal library, but I feel like they also go that what they think you'll like to see if that goes, because I've also had songs where it's shared between me and the other person and both of us don't know what that song is.
Yeah, I'm looking at the songs that say they're specifically mine. I think I do know every single song in here.
It's like,
do you know Jellyfish Apocalypse? Because I swear I got that from you.
I think so.
Because it only says it's mine, it doesn't say it's yours, but I swear I got it from you.
I have to look specifically.
Same with Head Bitch. I love that song. Head Bitch is a very fun song in my opinion. But I swear I got it from you, but again, it just says it's mine.
Well, that's the thing. I also know that some of the songs, because, okay, remember how I said, this is gonna sound ridiculous, but remember how I said, like, I have the Spotify limbo where I save new songs, and then if I really like them, I save them to my iTunes? I have, like, a graduation ceremony of sorts. Not, like, and I don't actually hold a graduation ceremony, but in the sense of, like, if there are a couple of songs that I will keep going back to, like, Spotify to listen to, because I'm in the mood to listen to them, I will specifically be like, okay, I need to stop because I'm tired of hearing the same ads for HelloFresh and all that stuff. And so I take them in like groupings, and I'm like, I'm just moving you to iTunes, and then to make sure that I don't have the same thing in 2 different places, I unlike them in my Spotify. And so some of them I think used to be ones that I actually like had liked and everything, but I got rid of them because now they're in my iTunes.
Okay, that makes a little sense. But I thought, yeah.
But I definitely at least listen, like it knows I've listened to them before.
Yeah, that's why I'm confused why it wouldn't be singing in tears. But I mean, I kind of do a similar thing where I think I've discussed how I have my playlist set up, where I
Oh,
have like
you
my
have
main
to,
playlist.
like, I'm not nearly as crazy in that department as you definitely are.
Yeah, I have my main playlist, and then they're like numbered, and so every time I start getting sick of some of the songs that I'm specifically going to this playlist just to listen to like a handful of songs, I then I create the next playlist in the series. Like I think my most recent one is number 48.
Number
And
48.
so
Love that
every
album
time
title.
it's playlist number 48. And so every time I get sick of that, I take those songs and then they start the next playlist and then I keep adding to that playlist.
Until it becomes a problem for everyone involved.
I have so many.
Okay.
But then my likes, I have currently 2,565 songs in my likes.
See, that's the other thing. Because I use Spotify and I have that entire graduation thing, it's like I know, especially because okay, there was a drought. It's kind of similar to the time when my entire art folder got deleted. I had to start over from scratch. There was a point where I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened to me personally, but I know that it did happen. Where all of the likes and everything that I had had previously, because when I was younger, I would often, if I immediately didn't feel the vibe of a song, I would immediately get rid of it. And nowadays, I can't do that because even with some songs that like you don't vibe with at the time, they can still like hold memories at like a certain time in life, and so I like keeping them. But there was a point in time where I quite literally started like got rid of a bunch of songs that I used to listen to, and I will occasionally run across those songs, and I'll like go through a flashback. I will like have an entire moment where I'm like, I've heard this song in the summer of 2014, and I'll save it because I'm like, I know this is a song that I used to have, but I definitely don't remember like the specific title. And what ends up happening is because of that, I know that my Spotify liked is not nearly as large as it used to be. But on top of that, I know that because of the entire weird graduation system I have of like cycling it over to iTunes, iTunes is probably where a majority of any songs through my life's journey of music have probably come from. Which is saying something because I don't even think I started using iTunes until I got like an iPod way back in the day.
Yeah,
Yeah, and that was back when I listened to only J-pop music.
Before Spotify, I used Rhapsody.
I remember you using Rhapsody because I was like, what the hell is that?
Because mom used it, so I used it. And there was a long point in time where the Spotify thing, it was a case of it was on mom's account. And so I
couldn't
had
like
to
certain
somehow
songs.
Yeah, I had to like differentiate my playlist from hers. And we couldn't listen to it at the same time and everything. So
Did you
there
not
would
make
be
your
times
own account even though it was free?
well, it was a case of she was paying for premium and I didn't want to listen to ads.
Girl, you get used to it.
Well, then she's still technically paying for my Spotify because we're on a family account.
Listen, 5 Nick Cage movie ads later, you get used to the fact that you're just gonna hear about Kroger. Like,
I mean, it's the same reason I have YouTube Premium. I can't stand ads and I mainly only watch YouTube, so.
yeah, but that's just ad blocker.
But I'm watching it on my phone mostly.
Then just pretend.
No.
It's like TV.
I was gonna say something and then I forgot. Fuck. I can't remember.
Well, this is a great transition for you to tell me about your weekly obsession.
Okay. Technically, I guess I have 3.
Oh God.
One is on topic for this episode, so I'll tell it last.
The others
first
have nothing to do with the topic, as per usual.
The first one I'm gonna say is the conclusion to the epic musical, which is the Ithaca Saga that came out on Christmas. It has been destroying my life. in a good way. So it's very good.
Okay, you
I would
sound
highly recommend.
in a good way.
I highly recommend. It's very, very good. It's and the entire cast, well, most of the entire cast went to Ithaca in real life to try and do a streaming party. That didn't really happen, but they've been posting a bunch of like photos and videos and fun stuff like that, and it's been very, very fun. The creator of Epic the Musical is such an interesting character.
Well,
Just an interesting guy compared to like how he acts in real life versus his acting as Odysseus in the musical. It's a whiplash. It's so good. But then the other thing, which is what you're talking about, because you were saying like you know what it is, and I'm looking, I'm like, what is it? And I land on the tab that's still open in my browser.
Oh,
That
dear
is just
God.
Boobah dances.
Oh dear God.
Oh, I don't even. Was it? It was Friday, right? No, it was
Thursday.
What? Thursday. I listen, man. Time is blended together.
Time is blended.
Thursday
the
night.
Boobahs.
Thursday night, Portillo came over, and we were watching like this Guess the Children show from the theme song, and Boobah came on, and I had never seen Boobah, and so we put on an episode of Boobah, and now it's my favorite thing.
Yeah.
It's, you know, like those videos of like the dancing fruit and stuff. It's their little dances do that to me. It just puts me in a trance.
Well, that's the thing. Probably not, because, you know, you guys were not children when this came out. But do any of you remember Boobah? Do you even know what Boobah is? Because I remember me and Yoshi knew what it was. We didn't watch it often. Like, it was on PBS, but I think because I was more child when it was in that area, I watched it slightly more, but even then it wasn't on all the time. It's hard to explain it, honestly. I'm not even sure if you can really explain it. It's like,
I don't know how I would explain it, honestly.
the most I can equivalent it to is like these like
Alien apocalypse for children?
alien butt plug dick stuff for children.
That sounds awful.
Well, it's like, because they look very odd and they behave very odd, and then the segments that are interdispersed, you know, after the present offering, which really is kind of cult-like, is really odd too, because of how they describe things. Like just red jumping rope, yay. It's like Teletubbies if Teletubbies was on acid.
Yeah, it's so
There's also
stupid.
like a lot of psychedelic imagery in it too.
Yeah.
Like a lot of like rainbow spirals, all that kind of stuff in like really bloomed out lit rooms. It's very odd. And the Boobahs themselves also have like these strange giant doll-like eyes that click when they move. So yeah.
We have agreed that I am the blue Boobah named Jumba,
Oh yes.
and that my soulmate is the orange Boobah, which is Zing Zing Zingba.
The only one that has that long of a name. I think he's trying to be difficult, honestly.
He didn't choose his name.
I don't know who did choose their names, to be honest.
The children.
Sure.
The
Oh,
children also named Mr. Man
that's the
and Mrs. Lady.
That's the other thing. It's British. It's from it's not even from here. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's Mr. Man, there's Mrs. Lady,
Brother,
sister, auntie, which we
grandpapa,
still haven't seen.
grandmama, auntie, and then the dog Fido. The dog has a really long name too.
Yeah. It's like a terrier, I think.
They disappear, like their heads look like little dick heads, and it looks like they disappear into their foreskin.
But if they do
That's what it looks
disappear,
like.
their entire like body shape, like if you were to just look at it without arms and legs, it looks like a butt plug to me.
Yeah. That's fair.
And they're very jiggly.
They are. That's why I like them so much.
But yeah, so we showed Sarah one episode and she was like dying from laughter the entire time.
It was the best thing. It was so good. It was so funny.
And
it was
now
so stupid.
She's,
it was really
honestly,
funny.
I know for a fact that if I just like get her a boob off for Christmas next year, I think that would be.
It would be great. I would love it. I would adore it.
I feel like those are perfect squishmallow material.
Honestly.
But at the same time, it's so obscure
though.
that no one else would know what it was.
Yeah.
But yeah.
You know, like those dolls that they have like the really soft plush like torso and arms and everything, and then they have really hard like hands and feet and a head.
I think so.
Like they're a borderline weapon, honestly. Because they're so easy to swing around, because they like swing around because they have the soft body. You can easily like use them like almost a whip type thing.
I feel like you're only talking about it like this from experience.
Yes, I am.
Yourself and other people with them.
So it was yeah. That's how I imagined they would be, but it would just be like the head part that would be hard.
Wow.
So.
A shelled dick.
Yeah.
Delicious. Anyways.
The third thing that's on topic is that I've been making 2025 bingo.
Oh god.
Which is just basically making a bingo card out of small goals or resolutions that I want to finish by the end of 2025.
Yeah, but couldn't you also make that very easy for your bingo card?
What do you mean?
Like if you put really easy resolutions within any kind of line for bingo.
Well, I use a bingo card generator, so I just put them in and then it randomizes for me.
You and your generators?
What? I know what I'm looking for. I've sent it to you. I've sent you a picture of it.
Where?
Once it loads. Hold on, it's sending. I don't know why it's taking forever to send, but it's sending.
She has a notorious uncompressed bingo card.
But I want you to look at it and tell me what's wrong with it, because there is something wrong with it.
Like in general, or like the thought of it that's wrong?
No, in general, like there's something like actually wrong with it.
I have to read these. Okay, hold on. It's on a line.
Why, what?
What's Wooble?
Crochet project I have. It's a brand that does like little crochet kits. She asked the same thing
Of what?
earlier. Of what's a wooble?
Because I have no clue. If it's supposed to be some kind of typo, there's no way I'm getting a typo.
I mean, it's kind of a typo, but it's also just me being dumb about myself.
Oh dear God. Oh wait, no, hold on. I don't want that to be what it is.
What?
Nothing. I have no clue.
How old am I?
Oh, I wasn't I just saw the birthday thing, and so I stopped paying attention after that.
I'm already 22. I turned 23 in 2025.
Well then, yeah, you get to check it off early.
No, that's not the point. I need to change it. I'm gonna run it by my therapist though too, and like make sure, like, I'm gonna get her opinion on my goals.
Yeah, but at the same time, it was gonna be a free space anyways.
Yeah,
it's gonna
but
happen regardless.
I know, but it's about the principle of the thing.
Dear Lord. So are you specific because of how it's randomized? Does that mean that you're going to attempt to get a line?
Yes, I'm going to attempt to get any formation of bingo. So what I have, I need to still create it, but I'm going to also make 12 different rewards for myself. So every time I get a bingo, I can pick one of those rewards, because there's 12 possible ways to get a bingo.
What are the rewards?
I don't know yet.
Wow. One of
I
them
haven't
is a
decided.
stuffed booba.
Maybe.
Whatever gets you to a doctor appointment. If it's booba.
I show up to my gynecologist appointment holding my emotional support booba.
Oh God. This is zing 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 zing. And you offer it out to like shake the gynecologist's hand.
The booba speaks for me.
Oh dear God.
My representative. But I have stuff like complete my Wooble kit that I have. Walk 1,560 minutes, which equates to 30 minutes a week.
Sure.
Try 10 new foods, be able to do 10 consecutive push-ups, get my cam license for property management and all that stuff, complete a lat chook that I have had for like 2 years and haven't finished, record and post 5 songs, write 52,000 words. So yeah, I have a bunch of stuff on there that I want to do.
I feel like any goals that I have are either much less specific or much more general, I guess. Because
I was
like,
trying to specifically avoid general goals, because then I want to be able to, because if I wanted to do this, it would be hard for me to like know when to check it off. And I didn't want it to wait until the end of the year to check stuff off. I wanted it to be a case of I check stuff off as I go.
that's the other thing for me. I know, similar to like in my mind, how I'm always, unless it's something that I know for a fact that I can do, I don't like promising people things. I like telling people I have goals in mind for whatever it is that I'm doing for them. Because obviously life can get in the way, quote unquote. And so I never like making a promise that I know I can't keep, or that I don't know if I can keep. I only like make promises if I know it's something that I can do. And so for me, similarly, when it comes to resolutions, in my mind, resolution holds a weight of like definitely get it done by the end of the year. Whereas like the things that I would want to continuously do, like one of the things that I even wrote about in the letter and everything, it was like I wanted to do more consistent creative projects like every month. And so in my mind, I'm like, it could be anything, because I do a lot of things. But then on top of that, if it doesn't get done within like that month period, I'm also not gonna try and beat myself up about it, because even though like it's technically a resolution slash goal, it's not a end all be all. If you don't do it, you fail. Because for me, I always feel like if I don't get it done, I feel like I'm failing, which is like my own personal thought process. So I'm like trying to not set myself up for that.
Yeah, I mean, that's also why a lot of these are not really high stakes things. The only thing that I guess you would consider maybe high stakes is paying back money and then getting my cam license.
That's not true. I consider the high stakes thing your walking goal, because of how difficult the walking is for you sometimes.
But I would not consider it a high stakes thing. I would consider it a thing that...
I've seen how you get uphill.
That's not what I'm considering. Oh, what high stakes mean in this?
Oh, what's life for high stakes? It just is what it is. It doesn't need to be anything in particular.
but these are things that I can complete at any point in the year.
Yeah,
The
you've
only
already
things
completed one.
No.
You already did a great job so far.
No. That's the birthday is the one thing that I have to wait till the end of the year, as well as completing Christmas shopping by December 1st. I won't really know if I've completed that until December 1st.
Oh yeah, I just thought you can't do 4 whole bingo rows literally until the end of the
Exactly.
year.
Exactly. Yeah, I know that.
So is that
I'm
your excuse for like I get extra presents this year from myself because I completed 4 bingo rows at the same time?
Yes.
Oh dear God. Well then that means you need to make sure to get that star pattern by the end of the year.
The star pattern? You mean
Because you're
the
gonna
diagonal?
go up, down, left, right.
Oh yeah, yeah.
To me, that looks like a star. Listen, if
guess
I've
so,
learned
yeah.
anything from the fucking color game, it's that clearly the way my mind explains things is not the way everyone else's mind explains things. Because when I said lichen and I looked over and Yoshi was like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
Well, she didn't know what lichen was to begin with.
Exactly.
To be fair, I only know it from Minecraft, so.
I know it from biology class back in 9th grade.
Can't relate.
To going to school?
No, we were not taught about lichen in biology class.
It's a plant.
It's not the plant we
grows.
studied.
We studied one plant and it was an oak tree. Anyways, I have a different question in mind. Well, 2 actually, but I'll start with this one because it's more on topic and the other ones will just be thrown in there. Are there any things that you do other than possibly, you know, watching the ball drop as a tradition for New Year's / New Year's Eve?
I've had this conversation before.
Not with me.
Did you ask me it?
I asked you about Christmas.
No, I swear. Maybe it was. I thought you, when we were walking, you asked.
No.
Well, either way. The only thing I can consider a tradition, and it's not really even my tradition, is that when I was living, when Portillo and I were living with mom and stepdad, every year our New Year's Eve tradition would be that we would complete a puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
Except I hate puzzles.
Why?
They frustrate me beyond anything.
Why? It's just a puzzle.
It's hard for me to explain. You know how, like how something, because it's the same thing that gets me frustrated with certain video games, where I feel like I'm gonna throw something. Like, I don't know if you've ever played The Witness, but The
No.
Witness gave me the same feeling as doing a puzzle.
What's The Witness?
It's a puzzle game.
Oh, well, I guess you just
It's
don't
not. It's not like a
puzzle games.
jigsaw puzzle game, but it's a puzzle game where if I'm not intuitive enough to figure out the pattern of the puzzle, then I'm kind of stuck, and that frustrates me.
I mean,
And when it comes to jigsaw puzzles, it's a case of I can kind of figure out the border, but once we get into like the middle and stuff, it frustrates me beyond anything, because it's like I'm trying to force things to fit together, and it's like I swear they should fit together, but it's like they shouldn't
well,
actually.
what kind of puzzles are we talking about here? Like ones with like big designs, or like the hard clear
yeah.
plastic ones? Like,
No, like the ones with clear designs and like a picture puzzle.
I feel like that's much more linear than say like a puzzle game.
Yeah, they still frustrate me though.
Well,
I've never enjoyed puzzles.
Sarah hates logic.
No, I enjoy logic. I just don't like puzzles.
Well, with puzzle games though, I feel like it brings kind of like if you take a break from it and you come back to it and then you're like, oh, I was so stupid.
I've never gone back to The Witness because
Well.
the specific puzzles of The Witness, I don't know. They frustrate me.
That's surprising though.
Well, there's like, at least with things like say like an escape room or something, you can kind of brute force your way through some things where it's like, I haven't tried this combination, let me do this at least. And eventually you can probably figure it out. And if all else fails, you have someone to give you a hint.
If you cry.
Puzzles, you're on your fucking own. So I would make it a point to at least put one piece. One piece.
Dear God. That's what's in the treasure chest all along, a puzzle piece.
I would make a point to at least put one piece of the puzzle into its spot.
And then you would walk away and leave the house.
Pretty much. That is the only thing I can think of that was a tradition.
I mean, well, you played the Obra Dinn. I feel like that was a big puzzle game.
That was like I like logic puzzles. Like Einstein riddles where it's like process of elimination type thing. I love those types of things.
Weird. I feel like I've had a lot of times where with certain puzzle games, because I think it depends on the puzzle game, but I feel like I've had multiple that I've been interested in and that have entertained me enough, because it is satisfying when you do figure it out. But even when I would get stuck, like really stuck, like to the point of like I don't know what to do, I would just quit out of the game and I would like take a break from it, and then after a while when I get back in the game and went back to the puzzle, I would typically solve it within like the next 5 minutes.
I've had those experiences too. But I don't know. I just have a specific memory of trying to do something on The Witness, because that's a game Portillo recommended and wanted me to play. And I played some of it, and then I wanted to throw my mouse across the room.
Well,
So I stopped playing. And to be fair, I've done this before in the sense of, I tell a story of when I was playing the Wipeout game on my DS.
the Wipeout game.
It's what it was. It was the Wipeout game, and it was on my DS, and I got so mad one time that I couldn't get past something that when I would get frustrated with games, usually this game specifically, I would bite the top of my DS. So my DS, the top screen of my DS had a bunch of bite marks, and one time I bit too hard, and I literally split my DS in half.
Sarah's a big biter, let me tell you.
I didn't have it, and then I immediately started bawling my eyes out because I'm like,
oh my gosh. Okay, so I looked up I looked up The Witness because I was curious about it. First of all, it looks like a very pretty game.
It's very pretty, yes.
But second of all, something that popped up on the side of my screen that I forgot about is, guess what browser extension I have installed right now?
I have no idea what.
I have Honey.
Oh! Are we gonna talk about that?
We can. Okay. First, let me just say a brief thing about, like, the only thing I can think of, because we never necessarily had a full-on activity. Like, we might do maybe sparklers every couple of years or something, but it wasn't like a mandatory thing. But I know that we always have a drink, not like an alcoholic drink. We always have, don't worry, Andy, we'll talk about it. We always have a sparkling grape juice drink. That has been the tradition for New Year's, and it's specifically a Welch's grape juice, where it's either the normal red grape flavor, or I like the green one because it's a bit more tangy sour.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just our drink of choice that we always drink and get around New Year's time. And
I know Yoshi was
talking.
Yoshi was talking to me about like different drinks that people make for like fruity drinks and everything. So we might be trying some of those on New Year's. I don't know. I know I have 2 tiny bottles of Prosecco.
Prosecco? From where?
From the restaurant near work.
Wow, they're just giving them out to you?
Yeah, they gave us like 6 bottles, and they were supposed to be distributed amongst the staff, but then people didn't take them, so my boss was like, take another bottle.
Well, I don't think you'll like it.
I don't think I will either, but I'll still try it.
Because champagne of any kind, well, I guess Prosecco, but same instance.
I drank champagne last year.
Same instance of like, it's mainly just the carbonation taste.
Yeah.
And at that point, it's like, well, why am I even drinking it if I'm just basically drinking gas?
What if we have those Crystal Light packets? What if we mixed in the Crystal Light packets?
I don't mix those Crystal Light packets with any alcoholic anything anymore after that time that I threw up after running.
Well,
But that was that mixed with vodka, like just like half a shot of vodka and White Claw. It was bad. It was really
yeah,
bad.
I feel like there's other things that work.
There was a lot
there,
of factors that weren't very nice in that, but you know. Anyways, okay, so honey.
For those who don't
For those
know,
who don't know, well, first of all, I feel like that is very telling for the kinds of people you do and or do not watch on YouTube, because I feel like there was definitely a point where their sponsorships were much more prevalent within the territory of YouTubers, like bigger YouTubers, and they might have gotten like less popular over the years, but even so, I still have it just because the only reason I have it, and I'll tell you, it's a very stupid reason, is I used it to look up codes for Papa John's because I always would get a coupon, and now that I know how it works, I know why I would always get a coupon.
Yeah. So, okay, for those who don't know what honey is advertised as, because it's not what it's actually advertised as. Have you watched the actual video by
Yes.
Megalag? Okay.
Because I watched it after I watched Markiplier was right all along video, and I was like, what happened?
I saw it on Twitter, and I'm like, what is happening here? Oh my god,
Honey's now assassinating Sarah. Even though these are technically like all out in the open facts, because they're like specifically stated by Honey and everything.
Yeah, because especially like the advertising. Okay, so the way Honey is advertised to work is it is a browser extension that when you go to check out online for anything, basically, it'll pop up and it'll say, do you want to search for deals? And it will then quote unquote scour the internet for the best possible deals for that specific shop or like restaurant or whatever. And honestly, nine times out of 10, it gives you jack shit. It doesn't give you anything, but it's supposed to give you some sort of sense that you are getting the best possible deal. You are saving the most amount of money.
It's like a satisfaction button, and the button part is very important, actually.
Yes, and it's also the case of, like they talked about in the video, where sometimes there is absolutely nothing, and it pops up just to tell you that there's nothing, just so you click it to say okay. If you want a more in-depth about this, check out Megalag on YouTube, his honey video. Because he's actually coming out with a second part that is going to have more information. I'm keeping an eye out for that because I want to know more. And I'm watching his Enchroma thing now too. But he did a deep dive into it because so this was a thing that a lot of YouTubers were advertising, a lot of big YouTubers, especially like Mr. Beast, a lot of even YouTubers that a lot of very random YouTubers, just most of YouTube, honestly.
And a decent amount of them, I would also say, are very like credible. In terms
very
of the
credible,
things that
very
they would
honest
sponsor.
people. The people who have done other affiliate stuff that has worked out, and it's like they don't seem like people who would be genuinely trying to scam you. What Megalag found out is that what they do, how it works is that, so at some point PayPal bought Honey, and what it does is when you go to check out at a store of some kind online, there is in the cookies something there to attribute your sale to something, whether it just be the actual site itself or whether you clicked on an affiliate link. So say you're buying something from a YouTuber, say you like this YouTuber is advertising, maybe it's a game or maybe it's like shoes. Let's do the shoes example that Megalag used. So this shoe YouTuber who does reviews for shoes.
Shoe-tuber. Not the shoe-tuber.
Is saying, okay, if you go to the link in my description, you can get 50% off your first purchase or whatever. And when you click on that link and it takes you to the website, what it does is it stores a code, a unique code to that specific YouTuber in the data of the website that follows you as you are looking around the store up until you make that purchase. If you were to completely just go about your entire shopping experience while using that link, it would attribute the sale and thus the commission to that YouTuber. That is how they make money off of their sponsorships in this case. What Honey does is you can click on that link, that affiliate link, and you can go through all the same processes, but once Honey pops up and you say, yeah, look for deals, as soon as you hit that button, it runs a script. It's very similar to how like viruses work, where it runs a script and then it changes that code within the website and like the cookies of the website to then attribute that sale to PayPal. So even though you clicked on the YouTuber's affiliate link, because you clicked that Honey button, it just changed. It just said, actually, I'm booting that YouTuber out. I'm getting the sale now. And so if they say, we didn't find anything, they can give you absolutely jack shit. They're gonna get the money for the sale and not the YouTuber that you were trying to support. And it's really fucking shady. And what they started doing apparently is also, even when you don't click to search for deals, when it pops up and is just like, hey, we never even found anything where this website doesn't use Honey or whatever, you clicking to dismiss that also changes the code of the website to attribute that sale to PayPal. And there are, like, Honey has a podcast, apparently, where it's trying to advertise to businesses on Spotify to advertise becoming partners with Honey, to advertise to businesses to become partners with Honey, basically saying, hey, pay us, and we will specifically only pick deals that you say we can pick. And it's specifically talking about how it's basically meant to deceive the consumer. And there was something else that happened. I'm trying to remember. Oh, the points things. It introduced Honey Gold apparently recently, where with every purchase you would get points that you could redeem for something later on. And Megalag did a direct comparison to how much money they were stealing and how much money they were giving back with I think a NordVPN purchase.
Yeah. And
he found out that if he had done his affiliate link and someone had purchased the NordVPN using that affiliate link, that he would have received a $35 commission for that. And then, he found out if he went through Honey, he got 18 cents back from Honey in points. So it is just a blatant scam. And one of the things, the way that I guess both Quiz and I found out about it was the entire Markiplier thing, where Markiplier said back in like 2022 or something like that, how he did not trust Honey because the way it was being advertised to viewers and everything was that it was basically free money. And he said he didn't trust that because the money has to come from somewhere, and it isn't being obvious where this money is coming from, and he didn't trust it. And so he was right. The money is coming from somewhere. They're stealing from their partners. They're stealing from the people that are sponsoring it.
It's not even
directly stealing.
It's not even just the partners and everything, because similar to the whole thing of like if it's a business partnering with Honey and they can choose specifically like what deals are and aren't shown, basically making it so that if people don't actually look for potential coupons and they just have Honey, that the business itself can basically say only provide them with like a 5% off discount code through this. Like, don't find like the 25 and up percent discount off. Only use the 5%. And so it's the companies that are directly partnering with them.
Lie to them. Yeah, and lie to the consumers and say that we're getting them the best possible deal.
And then on top of that, even when it's not directly overriding a different person's affiliate link, it still puts the fact, even if you just click any of the buttons of like dismissing it or whatever, it still puts the fact that it's the one that directed you to the sale, and that's how they make money without doing anything.
Yeah.
But it's even worse when it is an affiliate link, because then it's directly taking what would have been someone else's money and income, and it's redirecting it.
Especially because, like, at least in my case, when I've gone through sponsorships for YouTubers and everything, where it's like, okay, I've been looking at this product for a while, let me specifically support this creator. So I would go to their affiliate links. Luckily, I think I had Honey installed once, and then it started to annoy me, and I got rid of it.
Well,
because like George is saying, it's never really worked, because it doesn't find you shit.
Well, that's the thing. A lot of the time, like, I remember even before Honey, especially again with Papa John's, because I would always look up coupons for them. You can find like a decent giant list of coupons for places just by looking up like their name and everything.
Yeah.
And it was more, I feel like, one, like obviously how it's advertised to make it seem like much grander than it actually was, but also just the ease of access of it all. Because if it's just like a browser where you only have to click a button, and in theory like it's going through these same websites that you would have gone, that makes you feel like, oh, it's what I would have done anyways, but for a lot less work. I just have to click a button.
Yeah.
And it's just,
I remember,
it's kind of a really scary way of showing how marketing has made things the way they are, in a way of like, if you market it in a certain way, you can even get people to side with you, quote unquote, in terms of like the partnerships and everything, even if they don't know the full extent of everything, as long as like you leave out certain details. Because I'm pretty sure they had investigations into them before, but the investigations were dropped because they were like, never mind, that wording doesn't apply to us anymore. But it's just crazy. It's because like in my mind, like I said, the only time I used it was mainly in terms of like if I was getting food, and I would imagine with like bigger business food, like a pizza place or something, they probably are already partnered with Honey. And so it would make sense if they were just showing codes. But honestly, the codes they were showing were like 25-30% off. So I'm kind of okay with those codes that they're showing. But I never use it for anything else. And this is just like, well, there's not really a reason to use it ever. So
it's just kind of a, okay, this was not on my 2024 bingo card.
Yeah. And now I do remember when it used to just be Honey by itself. And now I'm pretty sure it literally is called like PayPal Honey.
Yeah.
Like they branded themselves with it, which if anything, now that this has come out, I feel like is an even worse look for them.
It does not look good for PayPal.
But to be fair, I'm pretty sure PayPal in and of itself has already had plenty of issues.
Oh, absolutely.
With a lot of different things. Hold on, let me uninstall PayPal Honey right now. Let me see if I can write a specific response.
You stupid. You scam.
You scam. Sarah, 2024. There. Oh my gosh. And then literally the minute I uninstall it, there's a button right below that says reinstall extension.
Yeah.
If I click that, do I sell my soul to a corporation? Is that what's happening?
Does PayPal legally own me?
Does PayPal get the affiliate for my soul? But yeah, so that's the latest of, not even drama, I guess. scam scandal. I don't know what you would call it, because Honey's been around forever at this point.
Forever. I feel like every YouTuber I've ever watched
Has
has
at least had one.
advertised as Honey. Yeah.
But obviously some of them pushed it more, but then again they were probably getting paid more. Well, not officially, but like maybe by Honey themselves. Well, that's another thing that I always wondered, because in theory, like obviously if you target bigger YouTubers and stuff that have more affiliate links associated with them, and you target them with this Honey thing, do you think that it's specific, like they buy out for a big price, these YouTubers, knowing that they would make the money back specifically because of the kind of YouTuber with a bunch of affiliate links?
I feel like probably.
Because I doubt any YouTuber would take a sponsorship without a direct somehow payment.
Yeah. Or like somehow, like with all the various subscription box stuff, like they get a subscription box as part of the partnership and everything. And then they just have to sponsor because they were given free stuff.
But that's the other thing. Because of how it like works specifically, it means that anyone that has had like any sponsorships with them in the past, they were targeted, which sounds really creepy, but it's true. They were literally targeted for that exact reason, for the fact that they could end up making even more money out of these specific YouTubers because of the affiliate link rewrites.
Yeah, but I also think there's something extra scum. Like, it's one thing to basically steal commissions and money from people who you have at least given some money back to, like, and for a sponsorship. Like, it's shitty, but I think it's kind of extra shitty to then, because Honey doesn't just affect the people who have sponsored Honey. It also affects, say, various, like, it could affect Twitch streamers who are selling, who, like, maybe advertise a specific PC or something. I don't know if that counts. I don't know if Honey would pop up on that.
Oh no, Honey would pop up on those feet.
Well,
because that's part of the market. Oh my gosh, bee feet pics win, Sarah.
No.
It all makes sense.
No.
The queen bee.
But it's stealing from people who aren't even affiliated with Honey, because it's always changing that code.
And then because it's advertised by such like really large brand name YouTubers and everything, everybody has it.
Yeah.
It feels very not apocalyptic, like dreadful. Like almost like cyberpunk dreadful, in a way of like corporate greed on like a very large scale, which I'm sure there's worse things that are happening that we just don't know about. But like the fact that it has been revealed, I feel like is what makes it so ominous, I guess, of like, yeah, this makes sense.
Well, I mean, on a similar topic, do you remember the entire story about the woman who was killed who died at a Disney park? And when the husband tried to sue, Disney said, you can't sue us because you have a Disney Plus subscription and you signed something in there?
No, but also not surprising.
Yeah,
sadly.
I don't know all of the details. But I know
that literally is the selling of your soul when you have a Disney Plus subscription.
Where it was like they went to a Disney park and something happened and the woman died, and when the husband tried to sue, the Disney basically came back and said, yeah, you got a Disney Plus subscription 3 years ago and it said yada yada yada, so you can't sue us because you waived all liability. Well, apparently, I think more recently, there was a case where this person was in an Uber for an Uber rideshare type thing, and the driver ran a red light and ended up getting T-boned by this giant truck. Now, I believe the person survived, but they had really bad injuries and everything, and they tried to sue Uber. And Uber said, you ordered Uber Eats. and because of this you can't sue us, type of deal. And so I don't remember all the legal jargon and everything, but there was this person specifically talking about arbitration laws and everything like that, and how Uber has done similar stuff in the past where where a bunch of, I think it's a bunch of workers or something like that who worked for Uber tried to mass arbitration, like, sue them. I'm again, I don't know the legal jargon, but they basically went to the people who do the arbitration stuff and said, hey, can you change it so that we don't have to do this, but everyone we have, like, who tries to sue us like normally, like, yeah, no, we can't do this, and has to go through arbitration. And they said sure, and then changed it so that Uber Eats doesn't have to go through arbitration, but everyone else has to. It's a scummy thing. Like I said, I don't know. I've only watched the video once. I don't know all the legal jargon, but I was listening to it and I'm just like, oh, that's fucking awful.
Well, this is what I'm saying. I feel like this, it's not even a probably. It's like this is happening like all the time. Like,
oh yeah,
just under various different companies and all that stuff. And it's just a matter of when it comes to the cases where it actually comes to light on a public setting, it makes it more upsetting at the fact because it brings more realization that it is happening all the time. And it's not even necessarily that it's something that we could change, kind of because of how fundamentally on a corporate business level it is.
Yeah.
Because, you know, the world do be fucked.
It's sure fucking
Happy
do.
New Year!
Is this what you meant when you I mean, you titled it Rake in the New Year with these hot deals. I mean, that's
even
kind of
planning
honey
on talking
coded.
about honey today. I just, it came up in my browser and I thought about it. But no,
Well,
the thing I was gonna ask about was completely unrelated to this. It also has nothing to do with the title. The title was just something that I thought of at the time. But no.
honey, the subliminal honey messaging.
Maybe that's what it was. Click our affiliate link.
They got the code in you too.
that we don't have. But no, I was gonna ask, and this is gonna take a complete 180 from everything that we've been talking about. But is there any specific game that you have not played in a long time that you have a nostalgia for?
Undertale.
Just Undertale?
That's the main one I think of because I still play a lot of Minecraft.
True.
I haven't played Ni no Kuni in a while, but I don't think that has the same nostalgia because when I think of, here, I'm opening Steam now to look. When I think of when I think of nostalgia, Undertale is one of the main things I think of because it was a really big part of my life for a very long time.
One might say too
and
long.
To be fair, if it hadn't been for Undertale, I would probably not have some of the friends that I currently have. Because it introduced me to Tumblr.
Oh god.
Which is how I have my current which is how I have my current group of friends. Which because it was not even related to Undertale, but I posted something specifically on Tumblr a couple years ago saying, hey, does anyone want to play Cards Against Humanity, specifically Minecraft YouTuber related? And people joined that Discord, and now I have
a dangerous thing to just post on Tumblr.
I mean,
Wow.
To be fair, it was kind of it's normal for people who use Tumblr. So
yeah, but even then,
that's the main thing.
That makes it seem like, I feel maybe it's just because I'm used to old Tumblr or something, but I feel like the way that I always thought about Tumblr is not something that you could just post and a bunch of people would see it.
If you tag it properly.
Maybe.
The way it is, especially with, current Tumblr is a lot like, how current Instagram is, in the sense that You do not need to be following certain people to see their posts.
It's
They
true,
just
Hide.
will
Old
pop up
Tumblr is a whole separate genre.
before the ban.
Now they always are asking for money, and they are always asking
Yeah.
if you want to like blaze posts or something.
Yeah.
And they're constantly trying to recommend you new stuff. Whereas I feel like before, yes, they did have porn stuff, Hide, but at the same time, if you weren't looking for it, and
You did not
or
see it.
if you weren't trying to look for it, you didn't see it, especially if like you knew the stuff you wanted to see, because then you look through those tags and everything.
Yeah, because when I was on Tumblr during my Undertale days, I was specifically role playing Undertale stuff. So I only saw Undertale stuff.
Sometimes
The
naked
majority
Undertale
of the time. No, I don't. The only thing I can think of that was even a little bit of risque. Actually, well, no, it was blatant porn.
A little bit risque. Turns out it was anal.
The thing is, it was someone. It was one of my mutuals at the time, who I had done a little bit of role playing with, but we didn't like talk regularly. I don't know what was going on with him, but he just at one point just posted a dick pic to his role playing blog.
Did you just make a popping noise when you said that?
I'm messing with a little jar, and
when you said posted a dick pic, the pop noise happened, and it made it seem like that was him posting it. I was like, excuse me, are we reliving the past?
You're welcome.
Oh my gosh. And now you all have to see it too. I mean, that's also par for the course with the people on Tumblr. There's
and
like
and to be fair, I
bad.
immediately unfollowed and blocked, and I never interacted with them again.
I was about to say,
so, and that's the only thing I can think
person.
Of. Yeah, fandom Tumblr is I. To be fair, I don't know anything other than fandom Tumblr. Not gonna lie. So.
Well, I mean, it wasn't necessary. I think fandom Tumblr was obviously one of the main core audiences, just because of how readily available you could find similar people of like with similar interests and everything. But I feel like there's also like a lot of
that with like Instagram or anything.
There's a lot of like similar to like how TikTok and everything has like their weird like water talk or something, like they have their own subgenres of places. I feel like that was the main thing that Tumblr was really good for in early internet days, of being a general mass area where people of different like subcultures of like, if you wanted to find like goth people or like aesthetic southern gothic photos or something, like you could find that with the right tags and everything. And there would always be like some, even if it wasn't like a big one, there would always be some kind of community of people where it would be more than like just two, so you knew it wasn't just you that was like into this stuff.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. There's another game I thought of.
Hold on, while you think of that, I'm gonna go get my 3DS, you know, because I have mine and you don't. Because there are some games on there that I feel like would translate well to this question.
That's what I'm thinking of right now.
It up.
Specifically this one, but okay. I don't know.
Let me see if it even has power. It does. I never had a 3DS XL, but I always wanted one just because I feel like it would be more fun, because I have hands that are much bigger than the tiny 3DS normal model. But I also remember when I got this, I screamed so hard. Let me tell you. It was a time.
It's called Cosm... Oh, okay.
I forgot about this game, oh my gosh. Okay, well, first of all, I would like to say that screw you, Nintendo, for discontinuing the eShop. Second of all, I would like to say that the current theme I have on my 3DS, on my red 3DS, does not match the casing at all, is an Espeon and Umbreon theme that has, I think, specifically the Unova Dream Space music playing, and it's very relaxing and very nostalgic for me because that's like where you could transfer Pokemon to have dreams online that I never was allowed to do, but you could, and it was in the black and white games. But no, so the main games that for sure give me nostalgia. I mean, obviously you have like the actual like DS games, like all the Pokemon games that I had all the time. But the main ones that I specifically got and would play like on my own, like there's obviously Animal Crossing, New Leaf specifically. And that was a good one. That one had a lot of stuff to it. It was my first ever Animal Crossing game, and I was like, what the hell is this game? I did not realize that it was a daily login kind of game until after I had already bought it. So, but I'm pretty sure it was only like 40 bucks at the time, and I got the digital version, so I never had to get like a card for it. But then there was Colors 3D, which was not really a game as much as it was a drawing application that you could make. You had like 5 layers to work with to make 3D art, of which I never utilized properly because there were some people that made like genuine 3D art and I never understood how they did it. But there was also, it had like an online gallery kind of similar to DeviantArt in a way, where you could like tag it with things, and the amount of artwork that people would do is so cool. And I think they took down that art gallery too, so that you can't even see like old art that people have posted, which I feel like is such a shame.
Yeah.
But then VVVVVV, I know you don't know what that is.
No, I do know what it is.
Well, that was, I know that as a 3DS game.
I don't think I ever finished it, but I literally have it in my Steam library right now.
I always knew it as a 3DS game, and how annoyed I was at the fact that there were so many places that I would die so easily. But it was literally basically just like a flip puzzle simulator, I guess, because you didn't really do anything else other than flip around. There was the entirety of the Bit Trip Runner saga, because I loved playing that on this too. But then another one that I never finished because I got stuck, and I'm wondering if I tried to do it now if I would be able to get through it, was Cave Story. And that one it was really weird. Like the art style was 8-bit, but then the actual art style of like how they drew the character splash art and everything was really detailed and like anime-esque, and they had like animal people, there was like bunnies, and it had a really interesting story, but I got stuck on this part and I never could finish it, and I feel like I definitely won't finish it.
I'm thinking of where it's like there's a bunch of different characters that you play as, and they all have their own story, and there's like an overlying like mystery type thing, or am I thinking of something else?
I don't think so. I mean, granted, I might not have gotten to that, but I do remember this specific one. I was playing as a guy with a gun that fell down.
I don't know how many characters are so many mystery. I don't remember. Is it Mandy?
And then this is one that no one else is gonna know specifically because of how random this is. But there's this thing called Gunvolt. Very anime.
I think the Descent is what I'm thinking of.
Probably. Maybe? But there's this game called Gunvolt where it basically just follows this anime protagonist dude that shoots at monsters. And that's basically it. But on the 3DS, it was fire because it felt like a very fleshed out game on the 3DS specifically. And it did get very samey with some of the bosses and the structure, if I remember correctly, but it was still a pretty good game.
The Descent is not what I'm looking for.
Oh my gosh, and then there was this one called Weapon Shop de Omase. I kid you not. And it was literally where you were just a blacksmith's assistant and you were making weapons for people on an RPG adventure. And I thought that was such a fun game. I truly was born to be a blacksmith. It all makes sense now.
Yeah, even maybe I'll have to like post on Reddit or something. fucking can't remember what this is called. I don't even remember enough about it.
But
Was it a dream?
It might have been. I could see that being a thing for you. But I still have so many. Like, oh my gosh, that was okay. This is the last one that I can think of, but this is because I literally played this with neighbor children when I was child.
What the fuck?
I played Legend of Zelda Four Swords with my neighbor, and we would always have the stupidest time playing that game together, because it was multiplayer Zelda game where you did like dungeons and everything, but you needed to help each other with the items you got.
Yeah.
But it was because it could have up to 4 people, but you didn't need 4 people. Like, you could have just you, or you could just have like you and like one other person. It could still work the same. And I don't know, it was really fun. It was a really fun game to play with other people.
I was trying to look up something, and I don't know what I hit, but it was put into Google completely backwards.
I don't know what that means. What do you mean backwards? As in like it's flipped?
Literally, it's flipped.
It's because you're wearing the Happy New Year hat.
Apparently.
That's how it works. It's actually like, an SCP art.
I was about to say, this is so weird. What? How? What did I do?
Sarah's wearing the Happy New Year backwards SCP hat, and now the entirety of everything she's looking at is flipped. And that's just her life now.
Like, hold on. Literally, I typed it fine. And somehow this is what came out?
Oh dear God. How did you type that backwards?
Well, I didn't.
Ooh. Another one that was a good one. I think it was more on DSi/DS than it was on 3DS, if I remember. But Plants vs. Zombies, specifically on the DS, that was a good one. Because I feel like that one was made to be made for the DS.
The main thing I was looking at, it was a game called, well, in English, it's called Imagine Makeup Artist.
I know those ones, the Imagine line. Which
were all vastly different from game to game, because I think also Imagine Fashion Designer, completely different, even like vibe.
That's the thing, weren't they like basically just mass-produced things for girls?
I don't know, because
they always showed like on the covers and everything, it was always like this stock photo of women doing the things.
Those are only the English versions, because apparently, at least with the Imagine Makeup Artist, it looked like it was a different game in Japan. But then it was translated and a lot of assets were changed when it came to America and was made the English version. But I remember I played through that game so many times because there were bonuses that you could get once you completed it, and you could keep like a lot of the stuff that you had when you created a new save file. But also there was like 3 different love interests, and I didn't know that at first.
There was love interests in that game?
There were love interests. Yeah.
How do you even build relationship with them?
You just keep visiting them.
Okay.
On your day off. You just keep going to see them.
Little did I know that was an RP.
They're all to a specific area. And I knew about 2 of them for a long time, but then there was apparently a 3rd guy. This is also the first time I ever came across the name Sean.
Okay.
This is the first time I ever came across the name Sean, and I remember seeing it, I'm like, Scene? What kind of name is Scene?
Oh, you mean spelled that way.
Yeah. So and he was the surfer dude, and I was like, okay, I guess it's a surfer thing.
Yeah, like C, you know? C
exactly.
with an N.
So that I have that memory, but I also remember there was a glitch where there was this little event that sometimes happened where there was like this flea market thing. You could get specific little clothings from it, and I always really liked the clothing items from it because it was like these cute little overalls, and whenever you if you got it, you had to immediately put it on, and if you didn't immediately put it on, it was lost.
Sure.
And
That makes
yeah,
sense.
I don't know why, but this was a constant glitch. So I stopped going to the little flea market thing.
So I stopped going to the little flea market because it was making me sad.
I really want to figure out what this fucking game I'm thinking of though is.
I have no clue. I think you're just thinking of Undertale again.
It was a 2D game.
Undertale?
No.
I'm just saying it fit under a 2D game where a character falls from a great height into a depth below. I feel like you're describing Undertale.
Characters and slow.
Listen, everything leads back to Undertale and Booba with you, okay? Booba has become your second Undertale. This is like your Renaissance period.
It was called The Cave.
Just The Cave?
It was called The Cave, which is why I always thought it was Cave Stories. It's called The Cave.
That's a film.
It's also a game.
No, not Undertale Booba Hide. Also, if you were here earlier, you would know what Booba actually is.
Magical talking cave. 7 characters, drawn from across time and space and harboring dark secrets, have come to the cave, believing they can learn something about themselves and who they might become.
Who's they?
The people.
Who's the people?
The people who have been dragged across space and time,
Okay.
trying to learn about themselves.
I will choose to believe you.
It's currently $3.74 on Steam.
Do you need it?
Oh, I'm not gonna get it right now, but I will probably soon, because now it's not 2D, it's kind of a weird 3D, but in a 2D way. So it's a side scroller.
I know exactly the kind of game I want to see Sarah play in the future.
Oh god, what?
There's this game called Arctic Eggs, where you just kind of cook.
Why don't I trust that?
I mean, you do cook.
A tale or embrace the truth in Arctic Eggs, or the tale of modern Odysseus.
Doesn't that suit you?
What the
You were
fuck?
just talking about the finishing of the chapter. Listen, I'm just saying, I think it fits you. It's chill. It's a very unique graphic kind. And you can cook cigarettes.
Yeah, I see that. What is happening
Anyways,
here?
I know a game that's been on my wish list that I hope it goes on sale at some point in the future is Mouthwashing, because I've heard a lot of good things about it.
I don't even know how I got into it. I knew nothing about mouthwashing, and then I started getting like recommended videos of like the genius behind mouthwashing, or the perfect horror game that is mouthwashing, stuff like that, and my interest was piqued, and so I watched a explanation of lore about mouthwashing, and now I keep getting stuff from it.
Well,
And so I know I'd say it has an interesting story. It's a little fucked up, but it has an interesting story.
well, I don't know the story.
People absolutely
I see the
love the characters.
I see the characters. I see a lot of people lusting over this man that looks like he has no skin. And I don't know the story behind it. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to play it, because I thought the art style looked cool too. And it's apparently by
If you play
Arctic
it-
Eggs is by the same people.
Oh, okay. No, Jimmy's not the one who doesn't have skin.
But before I play that, I have a different game I have to play anyways that George wants me to play.
Well, when you play mouthwashing, I wanna at least see it
With your own eyes.
with my own eyes. I know how it plays too.
I even got different games from different people for Christmas too. So I have a backlog of a bunch of games that I need to play. But I need to finish fucking Dishonored 2 first. which means I need to get really good at it. So I can hurry through.
As you saw, I have streamed 15 times on my 2025 bingo card, so.
So stream when?
I don't know yet.
You can stream this upcoming Friday because it'll be in the new year.
I guess so, yeah. I mean, I have to set stuff up for that.
It shouldn't be that hard. Are you gonna make a whole layout and everything?
No.
Why not?
At least not for the first one, because I still work until Tuesday. I need a day off. And then I would only have Thursday.
Exactly.
I'm not making an entire.
It don't gotta be complicated. Also, are you using Streamlabs or OBS?
I mean, I know how to work Streamlabs. I don't know how to work OBS.
You should probably start on OBS. For future reference of like being able to do stuff later. You should probably do OBS now.
Oh boy, okay.
It would be easier.
Would you be willing to teach me?
It's not that hard. It's not that different from Streamlabs, honestly. Because there's a lot of this, it's laid out slightly different, but you can change the layout. And I can give you like recommendations for like core quote unquote plugins to install so you see stuff.
Okay.
It's not hard.
We can discuss it later. Off pod.
Off pod, booba up.
And I will stick to my word. If you are the one who gives me one of the Persona games, I will play it.
It's gonna take you forever to finish that game.
Oh, I know.
It's gonna be
I'm aware.
so long. Oh God.
But I'm a man of my word.
It's true. Her backwards word.
Oh no, it did that.
Because it's the hat. I'm surprised we can understand you considering you've been speaking backwards this entire time. Okay, anyways, we should probably end it. This had almost nothing to do with New Year's, but you know what? That's about right for that. We talked about stuff. That's what matters. That people are entertained. Are you not entertained?
I'm dying again. Hold on.
Okay, well, in that, I'll finish her off. I'll say goodbye now. So, see y'all on the next stream. Bye-bye. No, I will not. Yeah, if you buy me a whole ass controller, sure. And you ship it here too, sure. And the deal is, if you come to this same place on Wednesday, you get free entertainment for at least an hour. Because I'm actually streaming this Wednesday. That's the deal. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.